Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Pariprajakacarya Sutara Shishimaris Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Pariprajakacarya Sutara Shishimaris Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Nitai Gaura Brahmanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasadvidara Shrimati Tamal Krishna Goswami Niti Namre. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasadvidara Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namre. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Vishesha Shinivadi Paschata Desata. Huh? Oh.
Hare Krishna everyone. So,
hey, first ask them if they heard this.
So thank you all for coming today for this wonderful gathering. So we are very fortunate today with us His Grace Radha Krishna Prabhu. His Grace Radha Krishna Prabhu ki Jai. So we would like to welcome Radha Krishna Prabhu with a loud chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So just a little bit about of Radha Krishna Prabhu. I'm sure most of you are aware, but just doing my service. So His Grace Radha Krishna Prabhu, he joined our movement in 1984 and has been practicing bhakti since 1984. So that's more than 42 years now. And he was initiated by His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, who is one of Prabhupada's right hand, in 1990 in Melbourne. And Prabhu quits his job in 1992, and then he traveled extensively for 3 years with Tamal Krishna Maharaj as a secretary. And also when Maharaj he went for his higher studies in Dallas, Prabhu stayed with Maharaj as a cook and as a secretary. And then when later Maharaj went to UK for his higher education, Radha Krishna Prabhu was invited to ISKCON Houston to take up the role of Director of Education. And since then, still he holds that service. And since then, Prabhu has been very instrumental in developing and establishing an educational frame in ISKCON Houston, and also helping other temples like ISKCON Seattle. Apart from that, he also plays a crucial role in DT worship services as a mentor, as a consultant, as a facilitator in various capacities in ISKCON Houston. So we are very fortunate to have Prabhu's association tonight. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for coming today and enlightening us. So over to Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming to. Kind of loud, isn't it? Huh? Loud? No? I don't know. I feel like it's loud. Anyway, thank you for coming on a weekday. I guess you all came mostly for birthday celebration or something like that. Right? Not so much to hear the philosophy. But in any case, it's a good thing when there's birthdays and someone's appearance days to come together. Devotees should come together and glorify the Supreme Lord. In the Nectar of Devotion, the 64 angas in sadhana bhakti one should practice. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also advises that we should observe various festivities, ceremonies with devotees together, not on your own or in your own home, but with other devotees. The encouragement is we should have nice sadhu sangha also. So what are some of the ceremonies? Ceremonies like Krishna's appearance day, Lord Ramachandra's appearance day, or we can say birthday, or Jayanti, like that, right? Appearance days. Yeah. What other days we celebrate also? We also celebrate? Huh? Apart from parents' days. Ekadasi, right? Huh? Narsimha Chaturdasi. Radha Rani's appearance day. Sita Rani. What? Govardhan Puja. What else? Julan Yatra, Chandan Yatra, Ratha Yatra also. All this you get together, and Vyasa Puja ceremonies of acharyas and spiritual masters like that. Then we take a vrat during that time also. Parents' days, we take a vrat. Generally the vrat we take is to mostly fasting, right? You fast and then chant a lot and glorify the Lord in those days. And then we also ask for benedictions also, right? When you are observing Janmashtami, Krishna's appearance day, you glorify Krishna, you also ask for, please make me a good devotee, don't let me fall down. Don't let me do nonsense, let me become steady. Let me understand my purpose in life properly. Don't let me be distracted, taken away from what is the purpose of life. So much so that my life is all gone. I have only a few more years. So it's imperative that as you practice, you understand all this, why purpose is, why we are doing certain things and so on. And similarly in Bhavishya Purana also, it is emphasized strongly that we should observe these ceremonies, these festivities. It's very important for all of us. And there's so many transcendental activities also. If you look at the Vaishnava calendars, you see so many different festivities. Prabhupada said, every day you can have a festival. Right? Maybe on the first day you'll have 100 people, and then by the end of the month only a few people will show up for festivals also, because everyone is tired. Yeah. Jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yeah. They waited until I was qualified, and then they were hearing to make sure that I know what I'm talking about. Okay. So I thank all of you for that. Yeah. Right. So in the Bhavishya Purana, there is a statement that Mother Yashoda, the devotees are actually praying. My Lord Janardana, Krishna, please let us know the date when your mother, Devaki Devi, gave birth to you. If you kindly inform us about this, then we shall observe a great celebration on this date. O killer of Keshi, we are souls 100% surrendered onto your lotus feet, and we wish only to please you with our ceremonies. Yeah. So the statement itself allows us to understand that celebrating Krishna's appearance day pleases Krishna. He wants that, because the whole prayer, they say, we wish only to please you with our ceremonies. So that means it's pleasing to Krishna. Otherwise, they will not do those ceremonies, right? You don't want to do something to your friends or something that they don't like, right? You call for a birthday party and then you do something different and they won't be happy. But if you glorify them or make them, buy them gifts and so on, then they become very happy. So the same way we see here, the devotees who are celebrating, they're asking Krishna, which day were you born? That's very interesting. So it gives an evidence that if you observe different functions that are in relation to Krishna, that pleases Krishna. Right? Right, Madhava? Yeah? Right, Kanai? What did I say? Thank you. Yeah. So according to Hindu system, the first birthday, uh, generally in the first birthday they do Jata Karma. Right? Jata Karma is when the baby is born, they do what? Jata. Astrology, So you all didn't do it. It's okay because nowadays people don't do many samskars and so on, and that's the reason why we're all struggling in our attempt to understand Krishna consciousness or develop our Krishna consciousness. Yeah, and all the big astrologers in those days they'll come, and then it is said that when the child is born, they throw roll a die, and as long as the die is rolling, they will write the astrology. And as soon as the die stops, they say, "That's it. This is your astrology." So you can, if you have read the Krishna book or the 10th canto, I think in chapter 8. Garga Muni, he will come to meet Nanda Maharaj because Vasudeva, he tells him, when Garga Muni came to visit Vasudeva, he said, "You please go and give names to my two sons." So then Garga Muni comes to visit Nanda Maharaj. And so Nanda Maharaj also wants to do that ceremony, and then he says, "Let's have a party, let's throw a big ceremony," and so on. Yeah. So that system is always there in the Vedic times also. But nowadays you don't get that opportunity because no one is practicing the culture properly. We have abandoned the culture, although we claim to be, Vedic culture, to some extent, yeah, but predominantly we don't practice many things. As we venture from one country to another country and set roots into different situation, different society, we find what is convenient and what is inconvenient, and then we abandon that which is actually helpful, that which can actually propel us to a better situation. We abandon those things out of convenience, out of deference, out of sheer laziness also. All because of our unwillingness to understand our very pitiable situation. We are struggling. Although we struggle, we don't seem to understand why we are struggling. Just like many of us are devotees, we don't seem to reflect on our lives deeply to see why we go through so much difficulties. Sometimes sporadic happiness, right? Like in the sky during the anniversary or the new year, there's flashes of beautiful light, and then it's gone for until one more year. Yeah, everyone comes and says, "Hey, I'm so happy," but then the rest of the year, are they not happy? So a lot of this culture that we are happy. He's making music in his teeth. So these are, it may be funny and so on, but the point is, we are not trained properly from the time we are brought up, and so we allow so many things to happen to our children and so on, and then after some time they come up with their own choices, and we say, "Yeah, okay, sounds good," And so here, from the scriptures that we are studying, we can understand there's actually Srila Prabhupada wanted us to become more cultured, more human in our nature. Don't be like animals, eating, mating, sleeping, and defending, and then arguing ad infinitum, saying that I know best what's for my life, But in truth, the advanced devotees or sadhus or sages and others who want to help us, we are unwilling to take because we have big false ego. Yeah, it's very hard to break that down. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. So the astrologers, therefore, they give proper analysis of the guna and the karma of this child. They give that so that the parents or the spiritual masters, they will know how to help this jiva, this individual, to progress, to make advancement. But as I said, nowadays you don't even have competent astrologers. You have some mouse or a parrot picking some piece of a card, and the astrologer will read, and that's your life. Right? And the parrot doesn't even know what it's doing. It just randomly picks up, say, I'll get something, some food from the thing. But then the astrologer say, no, this is coming from the time of Lord Ram, this birth, the lineage, Guru Parampara. And then you guys all go, yeah, that is true. But when we read from Bhagavad Gita and say, you shouldn't do this, no, I can't accept that. Right? Some Tom, Dick and Harry, or something like that, when they say we can easily accept. So you don't find good qualified astrologers. Generally astrologers come also in proper sampradayas also, but nowadays you don't have that. And generally for astrologers to have potency, they must not take money also. Yeah, once you start taking money, then the potency is minimized, Yeah. Now in India they do online yagna also. So, what to do, right? So the basic principle for all of us in terms of even on appearance days of Krishna is the principle is to meditate. Meditate on Krishna or different avatars or even great sages or acharyas. We meditate on their life, their contributions, and then we reflect on how that has actually helped us and so on. In that way, we will not forget the ultimate aim or goal of life, right? It makes it easier why they did that, and then when we reflect on ourselves, we know this. So this should be the meditation upon which we understand ultimately what is the mission of life itself. Yeah. And then what is the end of my life? As you take birth, it's joyful experience, but actually the child is in full of pain, when they take birth. But it's a joyful experience for the parents. And then after maybe 70, 80, 90 years, time to die, what is in your mind? Right? Should be very willing to, even now all of you should ask yourself, what do I always think about? When you're sleeping, what do you think as you sleep? As you're waking up, where's your mind situated? Why is it thinking of certain things more than other things? Why am I thinking about these things that are not so important? Or if you're thinking about the artis or some Bhagavatam verses, then you are in good hands. Yeah. But if not, then you should ask yourself, why am I not meditating on the Lord? If I'm practicing for so many years, why is my mind not focused properly? So all this actually falls back to the actions and activities we do. And therefore, from the very time a child is born, samskars are very important. So therefore, we do all these samskars. 6 months, name giving, and even before the conception, there is all the samskars to do. And then all the way at the time of death, there's samskars also. So, why? Because those are impressions, and these impressions are so strong, they are bound to our connection with the Supreme Lord. And so it's essential, yeah. So, as I said, if you don't do that, then we will only reflect on those things that most common people do: eating, mating, sleeping, and defending. That's all you'll be thinking, After school, what to eat, Go to school, study, thinking of what mom will cook or what dad will cook, something like that, yeah. So, Krishna, we know, is Anadi. Anadi means he has no beginning. Yeah, that means he is actually not born. He doesn't take birth like you and I. He has no beginning actually. We have a beginning in each life because we take a fresh new body, right? But if you're intelligent, we won't be disturbed by taking body. Deyino asmin yatha de komaram yavanam jara tata dehantra prati dhirastatra muyati. That means we are not bewildered or bothered. We are sober. Prabhupada uses the word sober. We understand I'm forced to take this birth or due to my previous actions I take. But Krishna says no. Ajo pisan avyayatmanam bhutanam ishvaro pisan. That when Arjuna said, how is that possible? You know, even the Surya Bhagavan. He said, because I didn't take birth like you, Arjuna. So we understand he has no beginning and he always appears in his self-same body, Satchidananda Vigraha. It doesn't deteriorate like ours. We take on a material body. So when we ask someone, what is your birthday? That means they have a beginning. Yeah. Right? They have a beginning. It's hardcore. So it's a seal. But actually, you know, we are also Satchidananda. But we identify, when we celebrate birthdays and so on, we tend to identify with that body. So therefore we should be very careful. Of course, I'm not saying you don't do it. You know. It's good, you know, because you are in this society in modern world where people, they will celebrate, your children will see them celebrating and they come on, why I don't have a birthday? Then you can't say you are Satchidananda. Right? They can't relate to those things. So you can say, no. Krishna also had, Mother Yashoda was celebrating. So you can say, yeah, we will celebrate. Yeah, and then give them hope that this is okay, this life is all right, it's cool, yeah. Right? Otherwise we can't relate to this lifestyle and then sooner or later we'll give it up and we'll do some nonsense. Because that may have more meaning. Primarily because it satisfies our senses for the time being. And in attempting ourselves to understand Krishna, we have to control our senses. And that may not be palatable to the majority of the population at the moment. Yeah. Anything material has a beginning and an end. So that should be something you should understand. So anything that has got a beginning must end sometime. Yeah, must also end. And in between it will also change. So Krishna has no beginning, there is no end, and there is no change. It doesn't change. So once, I think this is also in the Nectar of Devotion, once Mother Yashoda told Krishna and Balaram, Nanda Maharaj, the king of Raj, he is now waiting to eat. She's telling them, the boys, you know. I think it's in the Nectar of Devotion. Then she says, oh, my son Balaram is waiting for you, therefore come back to please us. All the boys are partying or playing with you and Krishna. Both of you should now go to their homes, all of you. Okay? You too, Krishna, Balaram, and the boys all go. So therefore, one thing Srila Prabhupada highlights is, you can see from Mother Yashoda talking to Krishna, Balaram and the boys that they should go home and take dinner or whatever with their parents or father, in this case, Nanda Maharaj. So therefore we can say Nanda Maharaj regularly took prasad with his sons. Yeah. Otherwise you don't understand how the relationship is going on in the spiritual world, then you cannot focus on Krishna properly. All this in the Bhagavatam are Nitya, there are Bhauma Lila, but there are also Nitya Lilas in between. So if you know properly, then you can meditate on those Nitya Lilas. Because we are also eternal beings, we are supposed to be with Krishna, we are now here. So therefore when she said, now you should all go home, that means everyone is actually doing that. The parents have a relationship with the child. Not the child will be looking in a cell phone and have some relationship with the cell phone. Not with the family members, yeah. So therefore, there could be some form of practical things that when you come to the dinner table, everyone should come by this time. Even who is that? Steven Spielberg, right? Yeah. So he's the director. So his wife said to him, that I don't mind if you want to do this major Star Wars or whatever movies he did, but you must be home by 5 p.m. And he said he thought about it, and then he realized this is good. And so he gave up some major blockbuster direction of movies, but he wanted to spend with his children, family. And he's, after 20, 30 years, he reflects and says, it's a good thing I did that. So I have very deep and very loving relationship with my children. Yeah. And we never miss that thing. So similarly, you will see that in Braj, in Vrindavan, with Krishna in Goloka, this is what they do. When it's time to eat, everyone comes together. There's a family. The family that eats together, prays together. Yeah. So the same way, you will also find that there is more meaningful relationship among yourselves also. So she further tells Krishna, because Krishna, you're playing the whole day, your body has become covered with dust and sand, therefore come back, take your bath and cleanse yourself. So bathing is technically, what is it? Cleaning. Technically it's called Abhishek. Right? Of course you can go under the shower and say, I'm taking my Abhishek also. Technically, yeah. But generally we use it for the Lord, and it's nothing wrong. Sometimes we bathe Srila Prabhupada also, that's also Abhishek. So if you are following very nicely and practicing strictly, then you are representing Krishna. There's no difference between you, and so therefore it's an Abhishek, technically. Yeah. So then she tells him that today the moon is in the proper junction and it's the auspicious star of your birth. What nakshatra? Rohini nakshatra. That's right. Yeah. Therefore, be pure and give cows in charity to the Brahmanas. So every one of you should also follow what Krishna does. You should all give charity, yeah, but not cows. You can't give cows. There are too many cows in this room then. You can't. So you should practice at least charity. You invite people and give charity. Not that you invite people to give, they should give charity to you. It's not supposed to be like that, yeah. Right, so therefore to be pure means we should also keep our consciousness at a higher level. On that, at least on your appearance days, you should meditate on the Supreme Lord, your spiritual master, and thank them for everything, be grateful. There should be all this gratitude should be there in our hearts, and then we can always be pure, practicing purely. Now when she said that, the other boys told him, if you don't play with us, then we won't never play with you. So Krishna became very afraid of going home. And so he walked a little bit and then he turned around and started playing. And then Mother Yashoda got annoyed and she started scolding him and said, why are you doing this, Krishna? Do you think you are a street boy, a street urchin, like that, don't you have any home? Please come back to your home. Your body is dirty and today is your birthday and you need to take a bath, therefore, so that you can give what? Cows in charity to the Brahmanas. Yeah. So therefore you have to be pure. And she says, look at all your friends, they're already wearing nice outfit, they've already taken bath, you haven't, so you please come. So therefore, it is the Vedic culture actually that on auspicious days, if you are well to do, you on your appearance day or whatever, you actually give charity cows actually. Yeah, it's amazing if you look at it and so on. You give to the Brahmanas. Why Brahmanas? They are dear to Krishna, okay, and then you give cows to them, you become dear to Krishna also. Yeah, because the Brahmanas will bless you also. What is the blessings? Then you will develop love for Krishna. That is the blessing we want. Not we want some money or property and so on, because those are all temporary. Why pursue that which is temporary? We don't want those things. We should try to focus, develop such attitude, then we will find that our existence in this material will become more bearable. Actually, it's very unbearable. Yeah. So therefore, she requested Krishna, just instead of being enthusiastic in playing games, she said, you come and be enthusiastic in giving charity. Okay. So in Bhagavad Gita, what does Krishna says? 3 things you cannot not do. Dana, tapa, yagna. Yeah. He say yagna, dana, tapa, karma. He says these things must be done. That is, these activities must be done. Na tyajyam karyam eva tat. You cannot give up these things. You must do this thing. Charity, sacrifice, austerity. All of us must do this in our lives. Even great saints and demigods, everyone must do this. They will not give it up. Okay. This is in 18.5. If you are wanting to read the Bhagavad Gita, it should never be given up. So one time Srila Prabhupada said, some devotees were saying, oh, they gave so much money, this person. And Srila Prabhupada said, Krishna is not seeing how much you give. Krishna is seeing how much you are keeping. Yeah. He's watching you. Yeah. So therefore, having understood these principles and activities of Krishna himself and how they celebrate, we should observe our own birthday ceremony. We should do something about one of these 3 items: yagna, dana, and tapa. You should do all of them together. Yeah. You should practice like that. Do something instead of expecting gift. You should give them something that's more tangible, more valuable, more productive in the long run. Sometimes this action is called prajatirte. Prajatirte sa tirtavat. That means on the occasion of giving in charity on the birthday of a son or daughter, the king will give something generally. Yeah. So therefore you can see, if you read the Bhagavatam, how the kings every time, like even in Mahabharata or even in Ramayana, you see the kings, they get children, they immediately give the Brahmanas millions of cows and so on. Yeah, like that. Horses, maid servants, etc., to the Brahmanas. So again, all these are what we call positive influences on our life, samskars. Yeah? As I mentioned, when you take birth, when you marry, when you die, wealth is always distributed to the Brahmanas. Because in terms of a society, the Brahmanas give the highest service. They connect you to the Supreme Person. Therefore, that injunction has always been there. It's just that over time we've forgotten that, and we sometimes question why them, like that. But that's not the reason. Huh? And sometimes also they cook nice festival feast and so on, right? So like on your birthday, you all should cook don't order from Govindas or something like that. You should take that austerity of cooking. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to invite only 5 people, so it's easy to cook. Well, you can do that also. Yeah. So in one sense, in those days, the Brahmanas were never poor because always the kings were supporting them, giving them wealth and so on. Generally, the kings will give the entire kingdom to them, and then the Brahmanas will say, we don't need this, thank you, but you please take it back and take care of it on behalf of the Supreme Lord. That's how it was. Huh? So, because they were so entirely surrendered to the Supreme Lord, they were always the well-wisher of the entire community. In the same way, one of the primary reasons is because they are not attached to those things. And so when you practice charity, you will also become detached from all these material things. And you will become attached to pleasing the devotees, pleasing Krishna, wanting to grow nicely. Now, Urmila Mataji, Srila Prabhupada disciple, very learned Mataji, very, very intelligent. She was saying once that during the early days, when Srila Prabhupada was around, the devotees would celebrate birthdays also. And in the early days, it was like sometimes they would do, but gradually over the years, there were too many birthday parties, she is observing. It's become more and more common. And then she said in where she was living, she found that there was more birthday parties celebrated than the Krishna's pastimes or avatar appearances. So in the temple room, hardly people come. Sometimes, it's only Matsya avatar, why I go, Yeah, so therefore the consciousness is taking a dive, and that's not good for us, Every appearance day is non-different, It's Narayana, Vishnu, non-different from Krishna, So something to think about. So should we eliminate birthday parties? No, you can't. It's probably impossible. There'll be a riot going on. But you follow what Prabhupada said, example, and what Krishna said. We should do some for ourselves. For others, it's okay. They are coming to enjoy. But for ourselves, we should do some charity and austerity, minimum at least. So instead of wanting gifts, the children can give the gifts also. Make some packets or something, Yeah. You can encourage them, why don't you give? That is their charity. They learn to give. And so as they grow older, they will be willing to give. So sometimes in your life, you find some people are so open-hearted, they are willing to give because they have always been living that life of giving and not always taking. The modern society teaches you to take only, like vampires. So we shouldn't become like that. We should learn to give. And in the 13th chapter, verses 8 to 12, in one of that, Krishna says, Janma Mritu Jara Vyadi Dukha Doshanu Darshanam. So he says that we should understand the evil of taking birth also. Why? If you take birth, you have to go through so much suffering, so much difficulties in existing in this material plane. And therefore we must be willing not to want to take birth again. We shouldn't think, I'll probably come back and try again. It's not like that. Your situation will keep changing, and Krishna will only make it that much difficult because you need to grow in your desire to surrender. We also forget how much distress we have suffered. Remember when at the beginning I said when the child takes birth, you don't find the child taking birth and laughing. And then you don't have children like Shukadev Goswami also. So most children, 90%, 99% children come out crying because it's distressful. The very act of taking birth is distressful. So therefore, instead of thinking of coming back, we should making plans not to take birth again, because it's full of suffering. And then when you're about to die, you also will suffer. Yeah. But if you're very Krishna conscious, then the Lord helps you overcome this suffering at the time of death. You become more peaceful. Generally, the devotees who leave their body, even the caretakers are amazed by the devotees who leave the body. They say, this is so wonderful, so peaceful. The devotees pass very nicely. Therefore, these topics should be discussed among yourselves, so that you know the importance of the human form of life and why we are all here like that. No, do we want to be diseased? Nobody wants to be diseased. So these are things that we should be very concerned. Do we want to get old? No. But we are experiencing all that, right? Only a few 6-7 years ago, right? What was that? 8 years ago. Well, maybe less, 5 to 6 years ago, COVID. No? Did you ever dream in your life you go through a worldwide pandemic? Yeah, but it happened. In this life, you went through. What guarantee in the next life won't be even worse? So it's important to ask ourselves, and it should be discussed. Yeah, and we already have this practical experience already. So we have no choice. We cannot avoid the disease. You cannot avoid getting old also. Nobody. You're not the four Kumaras. Exception to the rule is the exception. It's not the rule. So you can't. But you can get a Sachidananda Vigraha body eternally, and you can remain in that form for the rest eternity in the spiritual world. So that's what we should be aiming for. We shouldn't forget through celebrations, which is okay, but we should be grounded and understand also. Yeah. Maybe the children love it and they need it, and to grow their consciousness so we can do that. But at the same time, the knowledge should also be given so that they understand, this all are temporary. Yeah. So therefore, unless you also have unless you have a pessimistic view of this material world, in considering what birth, death, old age and disease are, there is no impetus to making advancement in your spiritual life. You will always find reasons to defend your nonsense, You will, you will quote even verses from the scriptures to say why you are right. Yeah, I've seen, been there and done that, as they say, So there's no impetus. So when we talk about these things, then hopefully the impetus is there. Now in the Bhagavatam, Sweta Varaha appearance is considered the first birthday of Lord Brahma. As the first birthday. It is said the birth date of Brahma is in the month of March. Yeah. And this is from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Yeah. And then the other appearance day is Shravana Dwadasi. Trivikram. Who's that? Vamana Dev. Yeah, so he appeared in that day. So it's normally that day is called Vijaya. The day is called Vijaya. Also, yeah. All right, so we know they do Jata Karma and all of that. Let's see, time is almost 7:50. Srila Prabhupada explains that there was one professor in Allahabad, and he was a Mohammedan by birth and religion. But he said that he was a great devotee of Krishna. So what does he do on Janmashtami? He fasted whole day. And then he'll write an article about Krishna. Although he is not. Yeah, so you look at this, because he believes this is God. And so for someone who does that, that means they are not ordinary actually. They are good, great devotees, because the focus is on wanting to please Krishna. So then there's a discussion between Srila Prabhupada and his disciples. So I'll read it to you also, you all can appreciate. The devotee is saying, Srila Prabhupada, yesterday in the paper I saw a picture. Nixon had his 61st birthday and he had a big cake made. And he offered the first bite, the first lick to his dog. This is a discussion between Prabhupada and the devotee. Prabhupada said, yes, that is good. That is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Artho artharti, he is in great distress. Now he is taking shelter of God. Artho artharti, then he is good at least. Then why he should not become dog? Become yam yam vapi. He has great love for dog, and he said that yam yam vapi smaran loke tyajati ante kalayvaram. Yeah. So if you're focusing on your pets or on your friend or on your wife or husband or whatever, then the next life you'll become like that. And so Prabhupada says, just knowing it is one's birthday does not bring happiness. Only when others congratulate me, you'll feel satisfied. Right? And so like when it's your birthday, everyone says, happy birthday, and you're like, oh wow. You feel so good, no? The next day, another one's birthday, you feel envious. But you're thinking, now nobody's wishing me happy birthday. Right? So therefore, it seems that you felt dependent for your happiness on someone else's appreciation of your birthday. So this will become more and more entangling. You become more and more dependent on all these material things. Finally, this is a nice pastime. You can appreciate Srila Prabhupada also. You all know Govinda Dasi, right? Don't know. That means you're not reading Srila Prabhupada's Leelamrita. Govinda Dasi was the first person to bring Tulsi Maharani to the West. Yeah. And she was also his secretary for some time, and she took him to Hawaii and so on, and Prabhupada was recovering from his sickness and so on. So she explains, when we were in Montreal, it was Srila Prabhupada's birthday, and I decided to celebrate it like Westerners do by baking a 2-layer cake. I frosted it, put a bunch of candles on it, lit them all, and then brought it into his room. His eyes were big. You know how Srila Prabhupada sometimes look, big eyes. With surprise to see me carrying a flaming cake, and he said, oh? Like questioning, you know. Then I put it on the altar, offered it, then brought it over to him and said, Srila Prabhupada, this is how we celebrate birthdays in America. If you blow out all the candles, you can make a wish. He blew out all the candles, and then I said, you don't have to tell anybody what you wished for. So Srila Prabhupada looked at her and said, I wish only for Krishna's service. Then we enjoyed the cake, Western style. So you can see Krishna Prabhupada's consciousness. So he's always thinking of Krishna, because that's how he has cultivated his life. That's what we say being cultured means, at least for devotees. Yeah. So I hope you can take something from this discussion, and since it's, okay, I'll stop here. Happy birthday. Right. Anyone want to comment or question. Otherwise, we can move on to the next part of the. Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Maharaj Panchankarna. Sorry, I just got reminded when you're talking about when we are getting wish, like we feel happy. Otherwise, just that birthday doesn't. I just got reminded of when Arjuna actually, he's like, what is the use of me having the kingdom when I don't have anyone to enjoy?
Enjoy with, yeah. That's true. Yeah. Thank you. That's nice. Yeah.
Not on this topic, but maybe if there is any experience with Swami Krishna Maharaj you can share. There is when you were with him serving, because we always hear about Maharaj being very strict and Prabhupada's yes, so how is it like to be with him? And
Then I have a video, it's like 3 hours on YouTube. So I've spoken at length, so you can, I can give you the link and you can listen to that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's actually, most of Srila Prabhupada's disciples are exceptional, because those who really dedicated and gave their life to the mission of Srila Prabhupada and took on his mood, they have been empowered by Srila Prabhupada himself or Krishna himself. So they are able to do things that it's mind-boggling. Like you must have heard of how he purchased the Mayapur property, and now everyone is enjoying. So single-handedly, Maharaj went, talked to the owners, and then he was saying how in those days you have to be so careful with the rupees, because they will take the money and say you didn't give. So he said they copied all the rupees that they were giving to the purchasing guy. So all the numbers they copied. They say for hours they copied, because you have so many lakhs, right? So they did that, and then he said they would give. And during construction also, the government would, communist government at that time, right? They would stop them from giving the resources for building. So they would have to go specially to Calcutta at that time, and then get the document, and then to buy cement they have to purchase one side, and then to buy iron rod and all in another place, and then they have to hire these trucks, big trucks, and put all that, and the trucks would come up to a certain point, and then they won't go all the way to the place where our present temple location is. So they'll dump everything in the middle of the road. So he said he himself and Jayapataka Swami and all of them, they would stack all these items in the side of the road, and they will sleep on top of it in the middle of the night until they get the devotees to come and so on. So they did a lot of austerity. One time in Bombay also, he said they were going to make he himself and Brahmananda Swami. So they went to the life members, making life members. So in one place they went to this very wealthy businessman, but he was drunk. So then he said, I'll give you as long as you do what I want you to do. They said, what do you want us to do? He said, take this, I think, limca, and then pour on your head, and then I'll give you that. And my Guru Maharaj said he did that. He took out the limca, poured, and then he said he got some donation. Yeah. So the dedication, the faith in the Guru. So this exemplified by these devotees. They go out of their way. They didn't have false ego. They just wanted to please Prabhupada because Prabhupada wanted that, But nowadays it's so difficult. The Guru can't even tell the disciple what to do, because the disciple will run away or whatever. So things have changed so much, but you should reflect on all these things, and therefore. He's a very intelligent person also, extremely intelligent. One time Sohotra Swami in the GBC meeting. After the meeting, he came back. He said, "Wow, Tamakrishna Maharaj's intelligence is like a diamond. He can cut through all the nonsense." Yeah. So, because people talk 9 out of 10 times, they'll talk something that doesn't even help with the discussion proper. And so he doesn't like to beat around the bush. If he thinks you're a nonsense, he'll tell you you're a nonsense. Doesn't matter who you are. Could be a sannyasi, god brother, or not, a disciple. Just so therefore, he was considered a very difficult person. But actually, the goal was to please Guru and Krishna, like that. Yeah. And he was a hard taskmaster. He expected high standards. He loved his disciples, and he loved his god brothers and so on, and god sisters. But he had a high standard. Yeah. Unless you have a high standard, you cannot elevate the consciousness of others who want to follow you. If you are so worried to help people or correct them because they'll take offense, then how can you help anyone? Most people want easy life, everything easy, and so you cannot chastise them or, it hurts, You touch them and they feel pain, So they're so gentle and soft. It's all nonsense, actually. Sometimes you go through difficulty to understand. You must go through some austerity, as we were discussing. So when great devotees like, His Holiness Krishna Maharaj and his god brothers who have gone through, they know what it takes to become advanced. And then by their actions and behavior, you can see. Once he was on an aeroplane, he was talking to a person who was sitting because he was wearing a sannyas face. And then they were discussing, and then he said, I'm going back to, at that time he was coming to Houston from UK. So he told the person, and they discussed about the philosophy. He was a Christian, maybe, I don't think he was a priest, but he was a minister, I don't know. Anyway, he was so touched by the discussion that on Govardhan Puja he came. Yeah, he wanted to experience that. So it's how we convey the message, and we can build bridges like that to other people, and we become attractive also. And when my Guru Maharaj left, he came again. He said, I'm missing him, like that, because there was so much connection with that person, and they felt it. Because that person touched the heart, not because with intelligence or what, but because of love for all living entities. When you practice properly, you will develop those attitude and behavior also, those kind of consciousness. Yeah. And once, this is a funny one. They were going from Dallas Temple to his college, and the traffic lights were all not synced. One will turn red, and then when they start, the other one will turn red. So then he told the disciple, was saying, you should call the city and say this is not good. That it should be all green when this green turns. And so the disciple called, and the city looked at it and said, you guys are right. And they turned it. So then after that, he had a smooth ride to the university. So how is that possible? Because he is a genuine devotee, and Krishna arranges for he's a super soul, and therefore, but we can see the potency comes through wanting to please Guru and Krishna in the proper mood, not expecting, but always giving, because Krishna is always giving, actually. We are always taking. And so in the same way, we have to change that consciousness. Yeah. All right. What?
We talk about the Guru Bhakti. So what we see that Guru Bhakti or to determination to guide Prabhupada's instructions was amazing in Prabhupada's disciples. But then after that generation, you don't see that much, as you said, that much Guru Bhakti is not there. Not willing to even
Surrender.
Simple orders or surrender. But what to speak about the big gigantic. So what is something you lacking, what you see in the devotees, or how we can
I already said that in so many words. What is lacking? Go back and listen to the class itself, and you'll know what I'm pretty straightforward, actually. I'll tell you what I call a spade. So if Prabhupada says something, don't overanalyze, because Prabhupada has already made it simple. If you don't understand, then you should ask what to do. You cannot say he's wrong, which I see and hear quite often among many practitioners. The other thing is, if you really want to be initiated and so on, then you should want to go back to Godhead, and then you should want to do the right things in your life to go back to Godhead. Not that, okay, I'm initiated, that's it. Om, Tat, Sat, sit in one corner. Yeah. That's not what we want. Right? We do so much austerity so that we can at least get the mercy of the Supreme Lord. So why then give that up? Then why even get initiated? Just go back and do your nonsense, man. So each and every one of you should ask yourself, why am I not making advancement? So these are some of the things you should reflect upon and then act on it, and then look forward to finding out people who can help you progress. If you can't get help from this person, then this person might help out. So find a niche or a group of people who you have like-minded people that you feel comfortable in. But don't all of you stay in that level and never progress. That's also wrong. Right? If you cannot understand something, for example, you hear sometimes some devotee talk and then you say, hey, they can understand it deeply. Why I don't understand? So you should ask yourself. You should write to your guru and say, why am I not thinking like that? What is wrong with me? Why am I not developing love for God? I've been practicing for 30, 40 years and I'm not doing it. I'm only worried about the income tax and so on. That means it's a problem already. Those things are going to happen anyway. So that's not the goal. The goal is, how am I progressing? Year in and year out. Why am I not giving up this and that? I remember in the early days, one time a spiritual master came and the whole temple was buzzed, everyone was like jumping up. And then 3 days later, the spiritual master went and some devotees were going on holidays. I said, where are you guys going? Oh, we need break, because when our Guru Maharaj came, we were doing so much service, we need a break. And they went for a break. So then it's a question mark for me. I said, what? Why is that? I mean, some of you love, but you may be doing it also. Right? And you tell the temple person, I can't do service this week because I'm so tired. Actually, when you do the service of Guru, you must become more enthusiastic. So sukham kartum avyayam, that means you must become more joyful. But if you can't attain that, that means your consciousness is wrong. The very way you're executing is wrong. Yeah. So anyway, it's getting late, and I also have to prepare to go. Yeah. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay.
Radha Krishna Prabhu ki jai.